Hey, David.
Nan.
How are you?
Very great.
Good to see you.
You as well. This is a great facility you have.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, our mission is to support independent, locally owned businesses statewide. We do that by means of a public education campaign, marketing and branding support for the businesses themselves. So we're just here to proclaim the value and the vitality of local businesses to our community, to our economy. We've done a lot of studies, we have data to share, we have stories to share. Basically, we're leading a movement to support local business.
Maybe that's my amazing philosophy, is that at its heart, the local movement is just simply an invitation to be neighborly.
How did you get involved with this? How did you realize that the collective power is more powerful than just being isolated as a business owner?
Well, I'm glad you just said what you said, because I think the invitation of the buy local invitation is to make that thoughtful choice to purchase with people in mind. So, and you think about the power of that dollar you're spending. It really is either going to go one way or the other. It's going to go towards good or ill. There's about 150 buy local movements nationwide. Sometimes they're kind of micro and they're just developed around a town, and sometimes they're statewide like ours.
Okay.
Just depends on how people want to get organized.
Hey.
How's it going?
Good.
Good to see you again. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the kitchen.
Thank you. So we're Out of the Box Cafe,
Uh-huh.
and we're here to talk about Chipotle bars.
Yeah, all right.
Tell me how it got started.
We got started about 2.5 years ago, and I just had an idea to try and introduce insects into Western cuisine as a sustainable form of protein. And that's kind of what the origin of Chipotle bars is. So we make an energy bar made with a flour that we make out of crickets. It's a kind of gentle introduction to the concept for people like in our culture to think about.
Where do these crickets come from?
We work with a farm right now that raise them for us, specifically for human consumption. And this actually, today, we have our first batch from a generation that was raised entirely on organic and non-GMO feed. I got excited about it because when you compare them from a natural resource perspective, they're way more efficient. So they use a lot less land, water resources, and fewer greenhouse gases. And then nutritionally, they kind of stack up head to head, but have more micronutrients like iron and calcium.
So Pat, you have some of the final product
Yeah.
here for us today.
Yeah, this is after it's all said and done and packaged and ready to go.
Cool. Can you walk us through some of these flavors?
Sure. Yeah, so this is the flour that we make. This is the final product of the flour, and we're just about ready to sell it kind of commercially now. This is kind of the magic that goes into each one of these bars.
All right, so this is my place. This is the Old Beast.
All right, let's check it out.
1979 motorhome I bought from a man named Leroy out in Tooele. Mi casa, su casa. I was living with a girl and we broke up, and I figured I could either deal with it by negative means, I could drink myself into a hole, or I could find a positive way to deal with it. So I borrowed a guitar from a Boys and Girls Club on condition that I repair it and fix it up, and I can borrow it for a while. So I said, I'll borrow it for 3 months, and if I continue, then I'll buy myself one. And by 3 weeks, I was getting asked to play shows, so I bought Mabel here, and this guitar totally came to me by fate. I got it for nearly nothing, and it's been perfect, and I've rolled along with that one.
It is gorgeous. Well, let's hear something.
All right.
On Old Mabel.
All right, I can do it. Mabel's my great-grandmother. I never met her. She died in 1975, I think it was, 76. And her husband, Roy, was a folk singer in Georgia. I mentioned him. And he died in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn at age 56, I think. And the first song I wrote all the way through was his life story based on the notes my grandmother told me.
Okay, cool.
So this is called Roy's Song. Bronx Baptist in Cedar Town. Bible leaves were blowing in the wind. Ferguson's George blood. Son was born in 1917.